This is Boston Chris with another great episode of the ETX Rock Show.
Louise here.
D-Script.
Featuring all genres and styles of entertainment.
And coming to the ETX Rock.
Let's hear it from Louise, please.
From the unheralded and unheard to the legends and beyond.
Out of the box with ETX Rock.
It's awesome.
We keep them coming.
$5, that's pocket change.
Well, hey, y'all, this is Haley McDaniel. Are y'all ready for this?
ETX Rock Show is the greatest show of all time, okay?
We are ETX Rocks.
The ETX Rock Show is the best show of all time, say? The other shows, you're good, you're real good. As long as we're around, you'll be second best, say?
Cut.
Hello, everybody. This is D. Scribs from the ETX Rock Show. If you're a Texas country artist and need the absolute best in promoting your newest singles to the Texas radio, then Steen Entertainment is your ticket to radio exposure in Texas. They promote the best and up-and-coming talent to Texas radio, having worked with Jarazak and the OSR Band, Natalie Rose, Isaac Jacob Band, Jenny Del Lord, and many more. Steen Entertainment has dozens of hits on the Texas charts. Is yours next? Find more information at steenentertainment.com. That's S-T-E-E-N, entertainment.com.
Hello there, fellow music lovers. This is Haley McDaniel, and I'm here to bring you another great episode of Haley's Country Tuesdays right here on the ETX Rock Show. Now, my guest this week is a majorly talented singer-songwriter right here in the Lone Star State. Although originally he's from Minnesota. He'll be quick to tell you, though, he may not be from Texas, but he got here as quick as he could. I can't wait to bring you guys the backstory behind the music of Mr. Jared Johnson. How's it going, Jared?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm really excited to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So you're a songwriter by heart. Is that correct? Because everything I know about your music and about your backstory, it all began with you writing some songs. Even I think your first one was at age 12 after your first heartbreak. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The girl I was dating, well, not really dating. It was sixth grade, but
Sure.
last day of school, she broke up with me. It was at an after-school party. And, she broke up with me, and I was just devastated. It was kind of cool, though, because the person having the party had a sister that was in high school.
Mm.
And so all the high school girls were feeling sorry for me, so I got some attention there. And then I went home, and that night I wrote my first song, and I remember every single word to it. I could play it for you, but that song will never see the light of day, ever.
That was also my next question is, can I hear a little bit? But you know what? I completely understand. It sounds like that was a pretty pivotal moment for you, though, Jared, because you learned two very important lessons at the ripe old age of 12. Number one is that heartbreak is the fundamental element of every country song, and two,
pretty much,
a cute kid can get some attention if he wants it. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So now you started guitar lessons around age 5. I mean, music has been a part of who you are from early on. Why don't you tell me a little bit about growing up north and when you were first inspired by music, if you can kind of remember that far back?
Well, I'll go back even further. My family, when they came over from Norway and Sweden, they settled in northwest Wisconsin, and my parents were the first of that family to get out of Wisconsin and go to the big city of Minneapolis and St. Paul. But anyway, they settled there, and my grandfather he joined the Army, and they moved around a lot, and he ended up getting stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and my grandmother had fallen in love with bluegrass down there.
Oh, yeah.
And so I still have, the old 78 records, not the 45s, but the 78s. I still have her 78 record collection of, Bill Monroe and
wow.
String Bean and all those guys. And so that's where the music love kind of came in. And we're not a very musical family. We're athletic and all that other stuff. And anyway, but it started there. And I still remember my grandmother playing me those old 78s. And my dad had always loved country music, and back then, in the late 70s, early 80s, Merle Haggard was still a huge influence, and Willie Nelson and George Jones. So those were the first artists I really remember hearing. And it just kind of grew from there. There was always a great love for music in my family, but not there was no real musical talent, I guess, to put it that way.
So you kind of had to pave your own, it's like you felt this spark and you knew that was something that was meant to be a part of who you are. So you probably had to kind of find your own way as to how you were going to kind of jump in. Is that right?
Yeah. And my parents always supported it. I had great, even though, they divorced when I was a senior in high school. They always supported it when I wanted to take guitar lessons when I was 5.
Yeah.
And I was in kindergarten, and my preschool teacher from the year before was the guitar teacher that I had. And it was right out of the Mel Bay, beginning guitar books is what I learned out of. And
yeah,
you're playing Ode to Joy and Lay Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, and all those old songs. And
right.
And yeah, my first guitar recital. It was a recital. It was in my elementary school library, Crooked Lake Elementary, and I played Boa Constrictor by Shel Silverstein. And Shel Silverstein, he was famous for his, children's books, Light in the Attic and Where the Sidewalk Ends. But
right.
a lot of people don't know, the great country songs he wrote.
That's right.
Tom T. Hall, made a living cutting Shel Silverstein songs. And but anyway, so that was the first song I played in public. And I don't know if I was really bit by the performing bug then. It wasn't until I got into junior high that I really started enjoying performing, my songs for people. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. And by the way, Boston Chris, he's our main host here at ETX Rocks, and he is such a history buff that, you've thrown out a few little things that when he listens to this, he's going to be super excited. So, Boston,
awesome.
Calm down. I know we're learning some new trivia, Boston, but try to focus. So, anyways, okay. So let's talk, because what really sparked my interest in your music, Jared, is your lyrics and your writing. I mean, you're a great singer, and I love your music, but it's one thing to have a really great voice. It's another thing to be able to write a really good song. And I really feel like, you have that natural ability. So,
thank you.
Besides the 6th grade heartbreak that spurred your first song, tell me a little bit more about, I believe hold on, I should backtrack. You've got your second album that has just been released, correct? And what's the title of that?
Yes. It's 1431, The Road Less Traveled.
Perfect.
The 1431 is from the road that I live off of here in Round Rock, Texas. So ever since I moved here, or moved back here, let's put it that way, because I've been bouncing in and out of here for a long time. But so many good things have happened to me since I moved here just off of that road. And then The Road Less Traveled, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but it's basically... It's not in chronological order, but it's basically my entire life as a songwriter.
Love it.
And there's a song on there called "The Road Less Traveled," so it's kind of that's kind of where that whole title comes from.
I love the title. I love the thought behind it. I cannot wait to dive in and listen to the new music that you've just come out with. But now you have a song on this new album that you wrote when you were 15, and I believe I read that this was kind of a turning point as far as maybe understanding that writing wasn't just something that you were good at, but it was something that you had a gift in. So give us a little bit of backstory about Grandma's Rockin' Chair.
Yeah, we had this, I think it came from my mom's side of the family, to be honest with you. When her final grandparent died, we were over there in northwest Wisconsin cleaning out the barn and everything, and we took home this old rocking chair, and it just sat in the basement and collected dust. And and it was like the rocking chair itself was like 3 generations. I mean, it was a very old rocker.
Wow.
And I was just intrigued by what this chair had seen and whatever. And as a 15-year-old, I just did the best I could to put together a story behind that rocking chair. And some of it's, somewhat true. In the song, it talks about my grandfather getting sick. Well, really, it was my grandmother who got sick with polio back in the late 30s, and
wow,
things like that. So some of it's somewhat true, and But I just wanted to, write this story about this chair, and I played it for my mom. I was very reluctant, and I still get reluctant, to this day. Every show, I'm reluctant to go out there and play these songs, because when you're playing covers, it's one thing, but when you're playing something you wrote and you're throwing it out there for people and they don't like it, they might as well say, I really don't like that nose that God put on your face.
Exactly.
It's really personal, and thank God I spent so much time in Nashville, hearing no all the time that I kind of got thick skin. But backtracking, I played it for my mom, and she liked it, and then she had me play it again, and she started singing harmonies to it. My mom could sing. She couldn't play any instruments, but she could sing, and that was the first song she really liked. And then she had a beauty salon in the house, so I had to go play it for all her customers and all this other stuff. But it really kind of came up. And like I said, my parents always supported it. And I was really big into basketball at that point. It was the only sport I played for a very long time, just because that was supposed to put me through college.
Right.
And but that was the first time I thought, okay, this songwriting thing, I like it. I like it when people like what I write, and I enjoy doing it. And that kind of gave me the little. I started looking, at my life like, okay, after I get out of college, I want to try songwriting. And I never did go to college. I just jumped right into songwriting. But
right, that's usually how it goes.
but that really made me consider. I never really considered being a singer. It was the writing that I really, really enjoyed. So.
That's incredible. And it's so funny that hearing your story. It's not a complete mirror to mine, but there's a lot of similarities there, and it makes me feel a little bit better because I too never planned on actually trying to be a singer-songwriter, like, from the artist standpoint.
Right.
And that's kind of an odd place to find yourself. But I would say that with your music, it just really, from what I have learned about you and read and what I know to be true, is that the doors opened, you stepped forward, and here you are on Texas Country Radio. Isn't that pretty much how that went?
It kind of did. There was a little bit of luck. I mean, Daryl Dodd really, he didn't. The first single that ended up on the radio, he sang on it with me, and he didn't really push it. It just so happened that it was a station in Fort Worth that picked it up first, and I can't remember which one it was, but they picked it up first, and that's what kind of turned the tables as far as me being just a songwriter, and I'm not going to say I'm a singer-songwriter. I refer to myself as a songwriter-singer. But that's kind of what turned the tables there. So, but yeah, I've always a little bit of luck is always involved, and ever since I was 19 when I got my first publishing deal, and my first publisher, Ron Avis, he always said, it's right place, right time, right song, right artist, and a little bit of luck. I mean, luck really does have, not a lot, but it does have something to do with it.
I completely agree, but hats off to you too, Jared, because definitely takes a little bit of right time, right place, and a little luck. But you have been at this for decades. I mean, you've been writing and really, coming into your own as a songwriter for a long time. So a little bit of hard work and dedication goes into it too, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I agree. It's been, you just made me feel so old. But I have been at it for a while, and it is paying off. I mean, it took my first publisher, it took him, the first song he ever got cut, he wrote it with Randy Travis and Jerry Foster. It was called "There's a Cold Spell Moving In," and Daryl Singletary cut that song on his first album. Wow. But it took Ron 18 years to get that first cut.
Isn't that incredible? And people, it drives me nuts when you hear too, like, if you're not familiar, if someone's not familiar with the music industry and what goes on behind the scenes, it's like, oh, they're just, they came out of nowhere and had, overnight success. And it's like, didn't see the years, the blood, sweat, and tears that went into getting that first cut.
No, it's very rare that happens. And Andy Griggs, who's, we're not as close as we used to be, but I still talk to Andy once in a while. He gave me one of the best dang coon hounds I've ever had. I was a coon hunter. There's really not a whole lot of coon hunting here in Texas, but anyway, Andy, he got to town, and Andy's one of those guys. He's not pushy. He's just likable. and he doesn't take no for an answer, and he does it in the most polite way. And he walked into RCA, wanted to talk to Joe Galante, and they got him a meeting right away with Joe Galante. He went in there and played him 3 songs. The last song he played him was the Arms of Cocaine by Hank Jr.
Yeah.
And they gave Andy a record deal right there, and
Wow.
that never happens.
Oh
That
my
and
gosh.
that's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
Usually it's there's a few young kids that come out that didn't have to do as long as we did, or they had the right connections and stuff like that. But generally, I mean, especially for songwriters, you are at it for years usually before something really starts to happen. So.
And you have to have a true passion for it to not absolutely feel beaten down into the mud. I mean, you have to really love the journey, even when it sucks. I can't tell you how many times I've been told no. I've really just lost count. I just kind of expect to be shot down or told no at least twice a day.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, I can't wait to hear more about the new music on your new album. We talked about, of course, the Grandma's Rocking Chair, which I can't wait to hear that one. I bet it's going to be awesome. Well,
it sounds like a 15-year-old wrote it. Don't worry. I don't want to. I don't want to get your hopes up too high.
I think that's going to end up being so great and unique about this project of yours, because it really is a timeline. It's a very personal record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Have I mentioned the fact it's all acoustic yet?
No. Tell me about that.
It's all acoustic. My first album was your typical, produced, big sounding, country album. And I've always wanted to do something different. I've always wanted to make an album that was all about the songs. I mean, I'm no Steve Earle or I'm no Townes Van Zandt or anything like that, but those guys, they can get away with it. Guy Clark could get away with it.
Yes, yeah.
But I wanted to try it, so I still had a lot of really good friends, a lot of good musicians in the industry, and I used one of my best friends is a guy named Lane Palmer. Lane Palmer is Keith Whitley's ex-brother-in-law. He's actually the one that found Keith dead.
Oh my God.
And Keith gave him, if you watch the old Keith Whitley videos, you'll see this black Gibson J180 Everly Brothers edition guitar that he's playing. Well, that's the guitar that I used to record this album with.
Oh, wow.
And I did it live. I didn't, there's no tracking or anything like that. I sat down, I played my guitar, and I sang. There's no auto-tune. So we left the voice cracks or places I was flat. It's all in there.
Right.
And Glenn Duncan played the fiddle, and Glenn Duncan's played, he's done studio work for George Strait. He played for Bill Monroe for a while.
Wow.
He was a Clinch Mountain Boy for Dr. Ralph Stanley. I mean, Glenn's just been everywhere. And so it's fun to have a fiddle player like Glenn playing on your records, and he's just a wealth of stories. I mean, every time I'm around Glenn Duncan, I shut up and I learn. That's all you can do. And Miss Angela Hurt, she's singing background vocals, and I did a duet with her as well on the record. And Angela really came into her own when Rodney Atkins had that first record that came out. Mm-hmm. That female voice in the background, that's all Angela.
Wow.
That kind of put her on the map as a background singer. She's a great singer in her own right. She had a duet with another girl. They were on Warner Brothers years ago, but then the Wreckers came along. Michelle Branch, whoever that other girl was, and kind of bumped them out of the duet for Warner Brothers there. And but Angela's a wonderful singer, and then Don Kearse produced it. And Don's also produced who is that goofy dude? He had that Mrs. Stephen Rudy something. Mark McGuinn. McGuinn. He produced Mark McGuinn, and Don's just a character. He is. If someone's in left field, I mean, Don is in the parking lot behind left field. I mean, he is just way out there. But he's an incredible bass player, and it was just all upright bass that he played, and it's just straight up acoustic. And I just wanted it to be about the songs, and I'm not going to say these are my best songs. These are my most personal songs, and even though it's not chronological, but it kind of brings you through, my whole life as a songwriter. With Grandma's Rocking Chair, obviously, and songs about a couple of I'm on my third marriage. I'm sorry to say it, but so songs about my divorces, songs about The time I ran from the law and went to Oklahoma, the time I spent in jail, battles with alcoholism.
Right.
Also a song, the only song I didn't write, is a song about dogs. We lost both of our old dogs last year, and I felt obliged. It was called Raising Humans. And I wanted to release that as my first single. Michael White wrote the song, and Michael, he wrote The Baby for Blake Shelton, and a couple other pretty good hits. And I wrote a couple songs with him for this record, but I wanted to release it as a single. But George Strait had it on hold. George just did some cutting late last year, and then George didn't cut it, and I'm like, yes, I can release this song, and so I recorded it, and then 2 weeks later, Michael calls me. He's like, dude, I'm sorry, but the publisher says you can have the song in your record, but you can't release it as a single because George is cutting again, and he's interested, and so is Alan Jackson.
Oh my God, that's those worst places to be in, Mr. Johnson. Yeah. I can tell you that.
Well, it'd be even better if I'd have wrote the dang thing, but anyway, and then there's another song about my daughters. I've got 3 daughters. It's called She Calls Me Daddy, and I wrote that when my oldest daughter turned 16, and I couldn't be there for her birthday party, so
wow.
I wrote the song real quick and threw it on YouTube. I put it on her Facebook page. I embarrassed the tar out of her. And she wouldn't talk to me for like 3 months, but she likes the song now. And another guy named Miles Williams recorded that song, and that's his current single right now on Texas radio. So
congratulations! That is not an easy feat to get a song cut by an artist. So
no, it's not. But I will tell any aspiring songwriter, even artist out there, if you hang around long enough and learn, if you don't act like you know it all and you just hang out long enough and white knuckle it, something will happen.
Yeah, right.
You just can't give up. And sometimes, you've just got to throw in the towel for a little while. It might be, having a child or something may come along that has to take, precedent over a songwriting career, but just tough it out. That's all you got to do is just tough it out and keep writing. I really believe that if anybody wants it bad enough, and I'm not Michael White or Roger Springer. I'm not making huge amounts of money doing this. I still have to, I still work on tour buses, when I can during the day to make some money. And
right.
But if you just stick with it long enough, something good will happen.
Absolutely.
I can promise you that.
I think that's really great advice, and it's something that, like we were talking about earlier, you're going to know really, really quick if you have a true passion for music and for writing really quickly, because it's a hard business. It's the most competitive business, and there's so much talent. Nashville. When was the first time that you ever went to Nashville? Because I'm telling you, the first time I ever went, I was so blown away by the talent. And I remember coming back to Texas and having, of course, Texas is filled with talent too, but one of my friends was like, well, didn't that make you feel, intimidated? And I'm like, heck no, I want to surround myself with the best so I can soak it up. And it's like that,
exactly.
Don't you think?
Yeah, the first time I went, I was a perfect student in high school. I was supposed to I got a scholarship offer to Stanford to play basketball.
Wow.
And my grade, I didn't get any B's. It was all A's in high school, and I'd never done anything wrong. So the last week of my senior year, I thought I'd never cut school before. I'm just going to go to Nashville. So I just took off and worried the heck out of my parents. And I went to Nashville and just, whatever, just had just drove around and saw the sights and came back home. And I actually had my first wreck on the way back home. That was kind of funny. I had an old 83 Plymouth Turismo with a little Volkswagen engine in it, and me being the songwriting historian, I took interstate. I took the interstates down there. I took 24 into Nashville. But coming home, I wanted to take Highway 41 because that is in so dang many songs. So I took Highway 41. I went up through Fort Campbell and Pembroke, Kentucky, and Hopkinsville and all that. And I guess it was in Pembroke. It was in the springtime, so they were planting tobacco, and so there were all these tobacco trucks and tractors and trailers and stuff on 41, and all day long they were pulling over to let me pass. Well, I get up around Pembroke, and there's this guy. He's pulling over. I'm thinking, oh, he's going to let me pass. Well, he was making a wide turn into his driveway. And I hit the brakes, and there were kids on this trailer. So I swerved my car and I hit the ditch and I rolled. It was end over end into it was a freshly plowed tobacco field.
Oh my God.
And that car, none of the windows broke, nothing. It was all banged up. And this tow truck driver come down from Hopkinsville, and he pulled me out of that cornfield and towed me up to Hopkinsville, and we pulled the radiator out and welded all the leaks and put it back in. We basically tied the whole car back together with coat hangers.
Wow.
We had to use coat hangers to hold the hood down, and the headlights were hanging out like eyeballs after a guy had been in the electric chair, and I drove that thing home. And I still drove it for another couple of months after we got it home. But anyway, that was my first Nashville adventure. I got way off track there, but that was kind of a funny story.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Anyway.
We're going back to your album. I really am excited that there is more of kind of a resurgence of getting back to basics with production. And so I think that, it's nice to see these mainstream country artists like Miranda Lambert, for instance. I mean, her double album, The Weight of These Wings, it's really been stripped back. They left, a lot of, if she was flat in a couple of places, which very rarely happens, but they left it. And it makes the song and the music feel authentic. Don't you?
Yeah, it's more personal too. It's more personal. Yeah, it makes you feel, and this might not make any sense, but it makes you feel like you could literally reach out and touch the music. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no separation. There's not that big wall of technological separation between the listener and the music. And I enjoy the heck out of it, and I enjoy a good, big produced album too. But I really, my heart is in songwriting. So when I hear just a pure song, there's nothing like it to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right. Well, hang tight, Jared, because we are going to take a quick commercial break to bring out some of our really great sponsors and advertisers that we've got for this episode. So
awesome.
Stay tuned. This is Haley McDaniel. I'm talking with Texas singer-songwriter Mr. Jared Johnson this week on Haley's Country Tuesdays on ETX Rocks.
Hello, everybody. This is Rio Wallace, and I am inviting you all to come out to the store Everything That Blings whenever you get the chance, which should be very, very soon if you have not already stopped by. So yes, the discounts are still here. The fashion is still here. The exquisite jewelry, exquisitely priced. Whatever word my Spanish teacher tried to tell me. Anyway, so come on out. We are here from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday, and open 10 to 6 every Saturday. So come on out and we will joyously craft you with an outfit that will be outstanding.
Hello there, music lovers, and welcome back to another awesome episode of Haley's Country Tuesdays right here on the ETX Rock Show. I'm your host, Haley McDaniel, and of course, my special guest this week is Texas singer-songwriter Jared Johnson. You still hanging in there with me, Jared?
I'm with you. I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
I love it. A hair in a biscuit. Oh, Lord, that's funny. Okay, so we're talking about songwriting and the process, which, I mean, I could talk about that all day long, as much as we love music. Let's talk about your newest single from your second album that you just released called 1431, The Road Less Traveled, and the title of your single is A Long Way from OK. So as of right now, as we're doing this interview, A Long Way from OK has been released to radio for just a couple of weeks. So congratulations on that. That's always really exciting to get the music out there.
Oh, yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun when you hear it on the radio for the first time. And we here where I live, Coke FM is the big station here, and I always get tickled when my songs come on the radio, and it's always surreal, and especially when it's not like your wife requesting it or something like that, Right. When it just comes on for no reason, it's so awesome. It's such a good feeling. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited when I release a new single, and really excited about this one.
That's great. Well, tell me some of the inspiration behind A Long Way from OK. How did you co-write with anybody, or is this a solo?
I did, and this is an interesting story, and I hope I don't go over with all these dang stories I keep telling you.
I love it.
Years ago, I'm going to backtrack to, like I said, I got my first publishing deal when I was 19, and in my early 20s, like 21, 22, one of the hottest songwriter in Nashville was a guy named Roger Springer. And Roger had a record deal before, and that fell apart. But he started writing songs, and he was pretty good at it. I can't remember what his first cut was, but he had that "Who's Counting" for Wesley Dennis, and a few other songs. But what really got him going was his relationship with Mark Chestnut. Now Roger ended up writing 19 songs for Mark Chestnut.
Wow.
And the numbers increased, since Mark, he's still around, but he's not as big as he used to be. But he still cuts Roger Springer songs. And anyway, everybody wanted to write with Roger, and nobody could because Roger was so busy. I mean, Roger didn't even write with Blake Shelton back then. And Blake was just getting onto the map because Roger was too busy. And anyway, I was bringing it back to the future. I was in Nashville visiting with Michael White, who I think I said earlier, Michael wrote "The Baby" for Blake Shelton, and he co-wrote that "Kiss Me in the Morning" for, I can't remember who that was, Michael Ray or somebody that was number one last year. And he's got a song on Alan Jackson's new record, and he wrote "By the Light of a Burning Bridge" for George Strait. And,
wow.
So he's done pretty good for himself. And anyway, I was having dinner with him because I had a song with Michael on the last record that ended up being my highest charting song. And so we get together and have dinner, and we were having dinner, and he's like, "Man, I'm going to Oklahoma to write with Roger Springer in a couple of weeks. You want to drive up there?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah."
Absolutely.
And anyway, I always had the idea, and there's been a couple of other songs out there. I found out since I registered it called "Long Way from OK," but you can copyright a song, you can't copyright an idea.
Right.
And but anyway, the idea behind it is a guy living in San Antonio, his girl leaves and heads back to Tulsa, and he's just miserable. So he's a long way from OK, OK being the abbreviation for Oklahoma. And anyway, Roger liked it, and we actually kind of hung out just for a couple of days. And Roger and Michael had a show. Roger's got a little venue in Tishomingo, catty corner from Miranda Lambert's old little boutique there. And anyway, it's a songwriter's little venue there. And so Michael and Roger had a show, and the next night we went back and we wrote it all in one night. It took just maybe an hour and a half because there was a whole lot of kidding and joking around going on. But it's really cool. That's the first song I wrote with Roger, and I'm going back up there in a couple of weeks to write some more with them. And of course, Michael was a part of it. And Michael's pedigree, Michael's dad, as good of a songwriter as Michael is, his dad was a fellow named L.E. White. And L.E., he played fiddle for Bill Monroe for a little while too.
Wow.
But he ended up writing 69 Conway Twitty songs.
Oh my gosh. 69
Conway Twitty songs. He wrote "After the Fire Is Gone."
Oh my gosh.
You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly. I mean, he was just a songwriting machine. And
wow.
So it's really cool to be a part of that with these old guys that I idolized. And these guys still do things the way that I was taught when I first got to Nashville. One of the first people I met was a Texas troubadour for Ernest Tubb. His name was Ledford Herron. And of course, all the troubadours were dying, but Ernest Tubb taught his people how to treat people in the music business. And Ledford taught me how to treat people in the music business. And I don't see a whole lot of that going on anymore.
So tell me, I need to know what that, what are those old school rules that need to be followed, Can you tell us?
Well, I mean, if you don't like somebody, or if somebody's not good for you, you don't have to be a jerk.
Right.
And Ledford would always say, either just ease them out of your life, son, or he'd say, just nice them out, son, just nice them out.
Just nice them out.
Just nice them out. And Ernest Tubb was the best at helping people. Jack Green, he hired Jack Green to play drums, and Jack Green, well, mainly to be a bus mechanic, but he also happened to play drums.
Right.
But Jack's career started going so well. Jack had "Statue of a Fool" and all these great songs. And Ernest said, if you don't leave me and do your own career, I'm going to fire you.
Yeah. Yes.
And the same thing with Cal Smith, the guy that sang "Country Bumpkin" and
right.
Someone of My Own and "The Lord Knows I'm Drinking." Cal played guitar for Ernest Tubb, and Ernest got him going and had to tell him the same thing. Look, if you don't quit my band, I'm going to fire you.
A little tough love, yeah.
Yeah, so I try to do there's so much competition that does, in my mind, that just doesn't need to be there. I mean, you get in
Mm-hmm.
certain circles and people are talking trash about this person and how, how much this song is terrible and this guy can't sing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm, I went to Lampasas this morning and I brought, I dropped off my single, of course. I did my radio interview. I brought Miles Williams' single, obviously because I wrote it, so I'm gonna, try to push that.
Right.
But my buddy Dan Johnson and his band, the Salt Cedar Rebels, they've got a new single called Troubadour's Prayer that Dan wrote, and he sings with Walt Wilkins on the
Wow.
song. It's a wonderful song, and nobody's playing it.
Yeah.
So, it's not all about me. I honestly don't need to chart. And Ernest was the same way. He just wanted to make a living.
Right.
And so it's more about helping people, and that's really, really the old school ways. But I really went off on a tangent there. I really
No, I
wish
love it.
people. I really wish people would do things the way Ernest did, or even golly, Roger Miller, Christopherson,
Yes.
Eddie Rabbit, that whole crew, Willie Nelson. They had a deal that whoever made it first would help the rest out.
You're exactly right that is absolutely missing, and honestly in society as a whole. And it's easy.
Oh, it is. Yes.
It's easy to see too the people that reach out and give a hand and truly care about seeing the success of others. Because it brings joy too. I mean, those are the ones that have decades worth of just hits and success.
Yep.
Continued success, not just, we've got a one-hit wonder and then he screwed everybody
Right.
over and now you don't ever hear about him anymore, So
Right. And everybody I try to help out, I tell them, if they say, man, you don't have to do that, what do I owe you? And I'm like, just do it for somebody else.
Yes.
That's all you got, just do it for somebody else. Don't be selfish. Do it for somebody else. There's plenty of music to go around. There's no need for it. It's so much easier when we all get, and we don't have to like each other's music. I mean,
Right.
but we can at least, all help each other out or at least be cordial about things. And
right.
I just don't like, I don't like the competition, and I'm not putting down Texas. I'm not putting down Nashville or whatever. I'm just putting down the music industry as a whole.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This definitely is not. I'm not singling out a certain genre of music. It's just the industry as a whole, and I think we could all do so much better if we just kind of, can't we all just get along?
Amen.
But anyway, but going back to the single, I got to write that with Roger and Michael, and it was a lot of fun because those guys are, they're absolute hit makers, and and Michael, it was funny. Michael brought it back to his publisher, and I'm self-published. I bought all my catalogs back from all the other publishers I worked for, and I started my own publishing company. And
very cool.
And well, luckily I didn't have any hits. That I was grateful because once you have a hit, they are not willing to give your catalog back.
Exactly.
But anyway, Michael brought it to his publisher, and he texted me, and he's like, believe it or not, the publisher, they really like the song. And he's just he's a card. He's an absolute card. And he's like, go buy yourself something really expensive on credit. It's just kind of a joke. Michael's got a real tongue-in-cheek view of the music business, and
right.
He keeps you honest. But anyway, but it was just a real honor to write with him. And when I couldn't release Raising Humans, then I was going to release She Calls Me Daddy, but Miles Williams had released it. So Third in Line is a long way from okay, but I'm excited about it, and people are responding to it pretty well. I'm nervous. I was nervous about the whole acoustic thing. Really nervous about it because people, in my mind, they want to hear the big Cody Johnson productions and stuff like that. And Cody's a hell of a singer. Let me put that out there. I'm not putting Cody down, but on radio loves to hear just the big produced music, and so I was nervous, but it's been getting picked up, and I haven't really had to bug too many people to get it picked up. And
well, I got to tell you, Jared, I think you absolutely you nailed it. You hit it out of the park. I think it was the right call, and it was a risk as far as trying to get radio to play, but like you said, it's going. I love the song. The song's great. All it takes is just one spin of it, and you got to hear it again. So I think that you made the right choice for sure.
Well, I appreciate you, ma'am. That's real sweet of you to say. Thank you.
So I just have to know, Jared. Now you're over in Round Rock, which for my out of state, I'll be nice. My non-Texan friends, out there, including my Oklahoma family and my Nashville family. And they probably don't know that Round Rock is close to Austin, which is right in the middle of Hill Country, the most beautiful part of Texas. It's just a great area.
Yeah, it is.
You're surrounded by music in Austin. What a great music scene you have there.
It is. It is. I mean, it's really it's a real vibrant scene too. It's not just it's not just Texas music. It's just but basically any kind of music you can think of.
Very eclectic. Yeah.
It's very eclectic, and it's coming out of here. And my favorite part about Austin is the taco trucks. I got to tell you.
Yes.
It's the taco trucks. That's the best part about it. But the music is great too, and it's getting crowded here in Round Rock. And my wife and I we looked at a house up in Dublin, Texas, not too long ago, and we almost bought it. It was in the Dr. Pepper family.
Yeah.
They used to make they had the little Dr. Pepper plant in there, and it's still on the market, so we still might snatch it up. And we love Round Rock. It's just getting crowded. It's just getting crowded.
It really is. It's such a growing, thriving area. But
it is.
Torchy's Tacos, that was an Austin thing, and we finally got one over here in nice. my neck of the woods. In my neck of the woods.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's dangerous.
Nice.
Dangerous is what it is. But
it is.
So when will you try to get down towards DFW or East Texas, or do you have any upcoming shows on the? Are you still kind of plotting out your spring and summer?
I'm kind of plotting out the summer. I've got I know I cannot remember when. I haven't put on the schedule yet, but I'll be up in Granbury later this summer, and Denton, East Texas. I don't get out there much. I used to when who was that old music director? When Katie Haynes was running, she was a music director at a station in Mount Pleasant, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I used to get out there a lot when she was there. And then of course there was a change of hands, and I kind of lost my relationship with the music director out there. But all I need to do is make a phone call and get that back. But no, I really East Texas. I've got Lubbock, Amarillo, Snyder, Odessa. I play there a couple times a year.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get out to East Texas. I just don't know since I'm self-booking and self-promoted. Do you want to be my booking agent for East Texas?
Will. Please, absolutely. I'm like, Matt from KYKX, they have, I'm not sure if you have heard that there's a really great restaurant/music venue here in Dallas-Fort Worth that has expanded in Lindale, Texas, which is Miranda Lambert's hometown. And so her parents and Love and Warren, Texas, have pretty much just started the transformation of Lindale into a music mecca. It's incredible what they've done. So I got with Matt from KYKX and get you to go play Love and War and hang out. So that'd be a lot of fun.
I'd love to. I've played Love and War in Plano before.
Great venue, right?
Yeah. What's that?
It's a great venue, huh?
I love it. It's great. I love playing in DFW. I love playing in the stockyards. I'll play up there a couple times a year.
Awesome.
And it's all acoustic shows. And I've got a guitar player and a fiddle player, here in Austin that I don't use all the time. It's just some shows require it. But usually when I go do a show, it's just me and a guitar and telling stories about my songs, and people seem to appreciate it. And I don't care if I'm opening for somebody or what. I just love to do it. I just love to do it that way.
Hey, as long as you've got a microphone and a guitar and a story to tell, I think that you're going to be putting on a good show. So, Jared, why don't you give all of our listeners a couple of websites or maybe your social media accounts, or how they can find you on Facebook or Twitter, so that they can.
The easiest thing to do is just go to jaredjohnson.net. That's JARROD Johnson.net. And once you get there, if you scroll on your phone or on your computer about halfway down, there's links to my Facebook pages, my Twitter page, Instagram, YouTube. It's all there.
Perfect.
And that's the easiest thing to do. So, or you can just get on Facebook and search my name, or get on Instagram and search my name. But the easiest thing to do is just go to the website, and there's links to my iTunes and Google Play. If you want to buy music and stuff like that, it's all there.
And we highly, highly recommend that you do we at ETX Rocks believe that it is so important to support the music and the artists that we love. And so, yeah, we encourage everybody to check it out. You know, spend the 99 cents to download the new single because it's awesome. At ETX Rocks, we believe that it is so important to shine a light on local artists and to support the music that we love. And so, guys, I just recommend that you, if you haven't heard of Jared, which if you're listening to this show, you probably have, let's be honest, you need to go and find his music on iTunes and download his brand new single called A Long Way From OK, and maybe just the entire second album he just came out with called 1431, The Road Less Traveled.
And the second album, you can pre-order it right now. It doesn't actually come out. It doesn't come out till February 28th.
Perfect.
So, but you can pre-order it, and of course, my first album is there too. And I'm on Spotify and Pandora and all that other stuff. But and I know times are tough for everybody right now. Mm-hmm. So streaming music is a big deal. But just from a songwriter standpoint, every 10 plays that I get on Spotify, I get 1 penny deposited into my Bank of America account.
Literally.
Yeah, 1
penny. Yep.
1 penny, literally. And I've taken pictures of my royalty statements and showed them to people. And I'm not anti-Spotify, anti-Pandora. I just don't think people realize. And the performing rights organizations, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, they're really trying to get a handle on this.
Yes.
And they will eventually, but it's just, it's kind of heartbreaking when you get 10 spins and you get paid a penny.
It really is for literally blood, sweat, and tears, and some of your most personal memories poured into an art form. And people would rather stream it. But no, guys, get out and support your local artists because it really does make a difference, and it keeps us going. It gives us hope that there are people out there who appreciate and love the music that's coming out. So
absolutely.
Jared, thank you so much for coming on and talking with me. And
well, thank you for having me. And again, I apologize. I've been just now, being an artist and doing interviews and stuff like that. I've been, like you said, I've been at it for a couple of decades, and I've got all these stories and all this stuff I got to tell, and I have a very bad habit of hijacking conversations. So I hope I have not done that with you.
Absolutely. And any other stories that you want to tell, you can come right on the ETX Rock Show because I would love to hear more. I was highly entertained, and I love hearing the backstories and stuff.
Absolutely. Let's do some in East Texas. I'd love to. I love Nashville Heartbreak. It's a great song. Oh. I'd love to do a show with you.
Hey, that would be awesome. All right, you guys heard it right here in the mouth. That was Jared Johnson saying he might want to share the stage with me someday. So I'm going to hold you to that, Jared.
Oh, the sooner the better.
Good deal. Guys, stay tuned because we have got Jared Johnson's new single coming up for you right here on this episode of Haley's Country Tuesdays. You're about to see and hear A Long Way From OK by Jared Johnson.
I get up and get to work on time. Step back when she crosses my mind. Catch my breath and get on with my day. Life goes on here in San Antonio. It didn't stop just because she's gone. I got through goodbye, I survived. But I'm a long way from okay. In Tulsa's 500, never getting over her love miles. A lifetime from me ever seeing her smile. That girl is gone, and she ain't never coming back. South Texas way, and I'm a long way from okay. Could be there in 7 hours or so, face to face and not even be close. I already know what that girl's gonna say. Just let go and get on with your life. That's what I've done, or at least I've tried. I've covered some ground, should be proud, but I'm a long way from okay. And Tulsa's 500, never getting over her love miles. A lifetime for me ever seeing her smile. That girl is gone, and she ain't never coming back South Texas way. And I'm a long way from okay. Tulsa's 500, never getting over her love miles. A lifetime for me ever seeing her smile. That girl is gone. Tonight her heart's in another state. And I'm a long way, still a long way from okay.
All right, guys, that was the awesome single that was just released to Texas radio a couple of weeks ago by Mr. Jared Johnson, and it's called A Long Way From OK. Do me a favor, call all your local favorite country stations and demand that they play this awesome song, and let's help support one of my favorite Texas singer-songwriters, Mr. Jared Johnson. Jared, I just want to say thanks again for coming on the show for Haley's Country Tuesdays. Who's your favorite podcast and YouTube channel that's always shining a light on awesome music?
Well, that would be my girl, Miss Haley McDaniel, and the ETX Rock Show.
Hey guys, I'm Katie Lynn, and make sure to tune in to ETX Rocks with
Boston Chris,
Aaron Watson, ETX Rocks.
ETX Rocks, Alan Fox Band. Hey guys, we're the Morning Madhouse. I'm Carter.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Ginger.
It's the best podcast ever made in all of history.
Hi, this is Paul Bebo, and I ETX Rocks with Boston Chris Barnes. You're gonna love it.
ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, DP here. ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, we're Enduring House, a Christian rock band.
ETX Rocks! Hey, this is Monty Pittman from ETX Rocks.
Hey East Texas, Jaden Farnsworth, ETX Rocks.
Hey everybody, I'm David McCarty with the Gypsy Creek Band. As always, ETX Rocks.
Hey guys, this is Chris Colston. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX Rock Show.
The ETX Rock Show.
The ETX Rock Show.
Ho! Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I just want to make sure you support local music.
Hi East Texas, this is Chris Wayne.
And Crystal Clark with KYKX 1057. ETX Rocks!
Hey East Texas, we're Lady Chaz and the Tramps. And just remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Todd Freeman of ETX Rocks with Boston Chris.
Hey, East Texas, I'm Waylon Hicks. And remember, ETX Rocks.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the one and only SP and Mexicano con Estilo. Make sure to support your local music, and ETX Rocks.
Hello. Hello. We're one way home.
Hey East Texas, this is Teaser.
Please continue to support local music.
And always remember, ETX Rocks!
Howdy folks, this is Aaron Watson. Support local music and ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Chris Colston, and make sure you support local music
and ETX Rocks.
Hey, this is Hannah Kirby. Thanks for tuning in to the ETX Rock Show.
Tough guy, ho!
Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are ETX Rocks!